You're going to blink and it'll be December again. You know the feeling. You just took the Christmas decorations down and somehow they're already telling you to put them back up. You haven't even finished the leftovers. Didn't this year just start? Weren't you just here? But go back, way back. Remember being a kid when a single summer felt like an entire era? The car ride to anywhere took a geological age. You asked if you were there yet, and you were legally correct to be upset. The wait for your birthday was basically a prison sentence. A school year was a lifetime. 2 months off in the summer felt like you retired. And now a year is a Tuesday. Now you blink and it's somebody's birthday and you're not even sure whose. Now, the obvious explanation is that you're just busy. You've got a job, bills, responsibilities, a calendar that actively fights you. Time flies because you're distracted. Makes sense. Feels right. It's also completely wrong. Time isn't speeding up. The clock hasn't changed. A year is exactly as long as it's always been. Nobody snuck into the universe and shaved a few weeks off. The terrifying part is that the change isn't happening out there on the calendar. It's happening in you. Your brain is recording less of your life. There are two reasons why. And the second one quietly tells you something you might not want to know. The first one is just rude. So let's get into it. Reason one is math. Cruel, undeniable eighth grade math. When you were 1 years old, a single year was your entire life. 100% of everything you had ever experienced. You were a tiny person, but proportionally, that year was enormous. When you turned two, that next year was half of your life. By the time you're 10, 1 year is a tidy 10%, but you're not 10, obviously. So when you're 50, 1 year is 2% of your life. It's smaller and a smaller slice of a bigger and bigger pie, and your brain feels it proportionally. The pie keeps growing and your slice keeps shrinking, and at no point does anyone ask if you're okay with this. Which means the summer you remember as endless, the one that felt like it lasted 1,000 years, the one with the specific smell to 7-year-old you, that genuinely was a massive chunk of your entire existence. The summer you just had took the exact same number of days. It just didn't get to be a big deal because you've now got 40 other summers standing behind it going, yeah, we've seen summer. It's like your life is a movie with a fixed runtime, and every year they cram in more footage. So they just speed up the playback. Your 20s were a montage. You're the one who had fast forward. You don't remember doing it, and there is no rewind button. I checked. That's the part most people sort of know. It's the depressing one you can do in your head at 2 a.m. But that's only half of it. And honestly, the second half is the stranger one. Because the math alone doesn't fully explain it. There's something happening inside your skull that's even sneakier. And it's been doing it your whole life, behind your back. Here's the thing. Your brain is lazy. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it's efficient, which is a laziness with a LinkedIn profile. And one of the ways it saves effort is that it flat out refuses to write down things it already knows. Think about your drive to work. The first time you ever did it, you remember everything: the wrong turn, the weird stat shoot, the gas station with the suspiciously cheap sign. You were recording. By the thousandth time, you have no memory of the drive at all. You arrive, you're somehow at work, and you cannot account for that last 20 minutes you blacked out and operated a motor vehicle. You did this on purpose, daily, and called it your commute. That's because your brain stopped taking notes. It already has the file. Why write it again? Your memory works like a guy who's supposed to be keeping a diary, but he only writes on the day something new happens. New job, new city, first kiss, the day it all went wrong. Those get full pages. Illustrations, the works. A regular Wednesday where you did the exact same thing you did the last 400 Wednesdays. He does not pick up the pen. He doesn't even look up. He's barely employed, and somehow he's in charge of your entire sense of time. And here's the trap. When you look back on a stretch of your life, your brain doesn't measure it by how long it actually took. It measures it by how much the diary guy wrote down. More entries, the longer it feels, empty pages, and the whole stretch just collapses. A flat year takes 12 real months to live and about 4 seconds to remember. There's even a name for the densest chapter. Scientists call it the reminisce bump. The years between roughly 15 and 25 that almost everybody remembers in the most vivid detail for the rest of their lives. Ask an 80-year-old about their life, and a wildly disproportionate chunk of what they pull up happened in that one decade. The other 60 years are in there somewhere. He's looking. But why that decade? Because that's when everything was the first time. First love, first leaving home, first real job, first time you figured out who you actually were, first terrible decision that was entirely your own. The diary guy was working overtime, no breaks, no weekends. He filled half the book in 10 years and then asked for a raise. And then, slowly, the first run out. Life gets handled. You find the routine that works and you keep it because it's comfortable, because it's good. You found the restaurant you like, so you stopped trying new ones. You found your seat, you stopped exploring, you won. And the diary guy, with nothing new to write, quietly closes the book. So here's where it stops being funny. The very thing that makes your life safe and settled and comfortable, the routine, the sameness, the hard won, everything's handled, is the exact same thing erasing it from your memory. A predictable life and a life that vanishes are not two different things. They are the same thing. You didn't lose those long, slow, enormous years because you got old. You lost them because you stopped surprising yourself. The calendar didn't speed up. You just stopped giving it anything worth recording. And the strangest part of all this, the people who still feel like their years are long, the ones who get to the end and feel like they somehow got more time than everyone else, they weren't given extra. They didn't find a trick. They were just paying attention. They kept handing the diary guy something new to write down. Time isn't running out faster than it used to. You just stopped looking at it. Anyways, that's why time speeds up as you get older. Ever wonder about these things? Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. It helps me keep making cool videos like this one. See you in the next one.